The Greater Southwest Airport here in Arcola, Texas is a great friendly place, but they put the runway the wrong direction. The prevailing winds here in this part of Texas are either out of the north or out of the south, and this is an east-west runway. So that puts today's windy conditions in a direct crosswind, out of limits for the Waco. Welcome to the Waco Cannonball Run ferry flight home, where we ferried this 1999 YMF-5 Waco biplane all the way from Houston, Texas to Northern California in just 2 days last April in a perfect little weather window of opportunity. We start this adventure here in Arcola, Texas with Joy and Jerry, owners of Texas Tail Draggers, where Joy has been flight instructing for many years and still does spin endorsements to this day. We got the Waco out from the back of the hangar and took it over to the fuel pits, and I've quickly discovered that wherever this airplane goes, she gets a lot of attention.
Hey, they gotta be a certain weight though. You can't have no fat person in there.
Yeah, it's more of a size thing than a weight thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Only 1,389 miles to go. Looks like they both work. Good radio check. This ferry flight was the culmination of several months worth of work finding this airplane, inspecting the aircraft, testing the aircraft, and negotiating a final price. This YMF-5 model Waco was built by the Waco Aircraft Company located in Battle Creek, Michigan. They still produce these beautiful aircraft to this day. This airframe has just 516 hours total time since brand new and has a freshly overhauled by Pete Jones Jacobs radial engine 755 cubic inch with the upgrades to make it 300 horsepower and a brand new MT wood propeller. This model of Waco is specifically designed for ride hopping, as there's room for 2 passengers in the front cockpit. This is Emma Harrington. She flies for Scallywag Air out of Galveston, Texas, hopping rides in their Waco, and she helped me with the flight testing of this airplane and shows us how to get passengers in and out of the front cockpit without tearing up the airplane.
So the best place to step on the airplane would be here on this sanded area, and typically for our airplane, this is sanded down to here. You want to stay off this area right here. It's fabric. Your foot will go right through it, so you'll want to step on like so. You can put a hand here. There's a handle up right there. You can grab on to the airplane. Then this strut right here is okay to grab, but you don't want to put any weight on this door or on this windscreen. So the latch comes open in case you need to get out of it, just like so. And we'll talk about emergency stuff in a second. This door, see how it wiggles? You don't want to damage that. So then you'll just kind of step into the airplane like so. You put knees or feet in the seat, go all the way over to the right side of the cockpit. But I tell most people it's best to get in this way.
Yeah, we're gonna
sit down. Now the areas I tell people you want to come in for this part. The areas I tell people to stay away from. There's 2 silver plates right here on the ground. If you can keep your feet on those the whole time, the stick would be out. If you were using this as a ride plane, if that's what I would do, that's what we do. So stay away from that apparatus in the middle where the stick normally attaches, because it goes left and right, and a lot of times people will put their feet close to it and get their foot stuck underneath it.
Ooh.
And stay away from them 2 pedals up there in the front, because those are my rudders and brakes, and I need those to fly. So feet right here. If I have 2 passengers, the set will look like this, and I'll have them put both feet either on a white X, we'll put an X on the ground, or put your feet right here away from both things. And then just tell them it's imperative they keep their feet away from that. Again, the biggest thing I brief is no weight here, no weight on the door, and stay away from the safety stuff.
Thanks, Emma Harrington, Scallywag ride service out of
That's us.
Galveston,
Texas.
Texas. All right. Well, that was a little bit of a struggle the first time. I'm wondering if this is more to be designed to have you putting this on with the windshield removed. The windshield removes pretty easy. I just want to scratch it up, storing it in the back. That's usually what happens on motorcycle adventures. You take the windscreen off and it gets all tore up. Time for a little lunch and move the Waco back into another hangar for a little more packing and polishing while we wait out the winds and a few more visitors come by to admire the airplane. Off to bed early for an early go tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, top of the morning. Got the plane all buttoned up, got my 4 layers on. No more excuses. Let's go. No wind. Pretty clear skies. Cold. 44 degrees. Gotta love that aroma. That's the stuff. Good oil pressure.
Okay, well, we're off.
5 miles north of the field.
I didn't have a mount to show you the takeoff yet, but
New in sight, but I don't think I've seen the tub yet.
setting at 1950 RPM. Wow, clipping along at over 100 miles an hour indicated. 107 knot ground speed. Oh man, we'll be home in no time at this rate. I'm sure things will change. Yeah, look at that. See that wind wonder do off them stacks there?
D4, 1324.
Tailwind. Very nice. This heater actually kind of works here a little bit. Check out the cockpit in this Waco, man. You can lower the seat and get down a little lower out of this wind. And the front seat is real wind-free. He's pretty hands-free flyer. If you hold a little bit of right rudder, it's a little left wing heavy. I let go of the rudder. Let's see. Yeah, she'll roll off to the left. So if I hold that right rudder, now it's a little out of trim. So what I need is some right aileron. See that aileron rigging out there versus out there. But bring that aileron in just a little bit. That's straighten it right out. Back to work.
Kimball County, Texas, on the Llano River. Right down in there. Okay, 37 gallons in 2.5 hours. That's right at 15 gallons per hour. We had a good tailwind. It was smoking along at 100 knots or so all the way across. First landing, piece of cake. I got no video capability yet for these landings. Those big oleos really soak up the landing, make it real easy. This thing practically lands itself as long as the wind's down the runway. Takeoffs in the Waco require a lot of right rudder, and I found you want to minimize the amount of movement about the lateral axis, picking up the tail, because of the tremendous amount of gyroscopic precession that this engine and prop combination produces. Forward visibility is also very limited in the Waco, just like any of these vintage biplanes, so you're just working with a little bit of visibility out of the corner of the left or right side of the cockpit, just viewing the edge of the runway. Once airborne and climbing out, in order to see in front of you, you're going to need to start making some turns. Our first day of flying on this adventure looks something like this: about 790 nautical miles and about 9 hours of flying, with stops every 2.5 hours or so. I found that the best way to flight plan for this was to go ahead and fill the aircraft up with full fuel, all 70 gallons. The aircraft burns about 15 gallons per hour. Take off and climb to a comfortable temperature, maintain that altitude, and usually within a couple thousand feet of the ground is just about perfect for the Waco to enjoy the sightseeing. And then stop at about every 2 to 2.5 hours, because you're going to be ready for a stretch, and that leaves you plenty of fuel reserves. You don't see many of these, huh?
You don't, sir. You only get to see these like a few times a year, man. God. Just push that button, sir, and we'll be good. Man.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
He's got to get a picture of this.
Yeah, oh, that definitely, sir.
These guys were so impressed with the Waco that I was awarded 2 free brisket tacos and a Coke and a perfect 20-minute nap in the Barco Lounger. Next stop, Las Cruces. It takes a long time to fly over West Texas. Las Cruces, just perfect 70 degrees and no wind, unheard of, no wind. Perfect conditions for ferrying out here. Wow. $5.50 a gallon. Fill her up. All checking good. Check that prop hub. Oh, nice and cool. Nothing working there. Oil's been keeping up just fine. A lot of training going on here. Good to see.
Time for a nice evening desert cruise, the fourth leg of the day today. Just making excellent time.
Send out to let you get.
We already left Las Cruces and are heading towards Tucson, probably go to Benson, Arizona, E95 for the night. See if I can beat the sunset. Cruising down the highway here. What is that, Highway 10 or the old Route 66? It's been a bumpy ride this afternoon, crossing a lot of the West Texas desert, but man, I tell you this, Waco, there's no better airplane if you're going to beat it through a bunch of desert turbulence. There's something about the weight and the speed. So at this speed, with this wing loading, at this weight, it just gives a pretty luxurious ride. It's comfortable as long as the outside conditions are good. It's about 70 degrees back there at Las Cruces, and up here it's in the 60s, and it's just perfect temperature conditions and visibility. As far as the turbulence goes, she'll just plow through that turbulence like a big old fat girl, man, and there's no harsh ride to it at all, and it doesn't bat you around extremely fast, and the controls are plenty responsive with the 4 ailerons to deal with the turbulence. So I'm very impressed with that part of the Waco. And the turn of speed I'm getting with this, I'm pretty sure it's because I've got tailwinds for the most part. I mean, I've been indicating, right? Here we are at 5,500 feet, indicating 95 miles per hour. Get that RPM, I want it right at 1950. Bring it back just a little bit there. If that tack is accurate, I got to calibrate that tack when I get home. And the oil temperature's been running cold the whole time, so in these these cooler temperatures, might be good to louver that up or get some more information on them oil temperatures, but just beautiful out here tonight. If there's daylight, you might as well use it. Keep burning it, keep going. Just like on our big motorcycle rides, I don't want to be sitting in a hotel room burning daylight. If there's daylight, we're riding or flying it, and if the conditions are good enough. See that? It just handles the turbulence no problem. Turn that squelch down so you don't have to listen to all that wind racket. There. So let's see, am I beating the semis? I gotta be beating them at 90 knots of ground speed. That's 105 miles an hour or so. We've got just an hour and 48 minutes to the next stop, and we should be able to beat the sun. We got plenty of options if we need to stop short. Houston to Tucson in a day in the Waco. Good turn.